Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. A man can be a looker, but not sexy to a woman. And this is something I've talked about often, but this is something I really need to clear up. And probably I'll talk about it in the future, because a lot of guys, they'll say, like, they need to fix up and everything. And let's be real. It is important. It is bait. Body game is bait. But that's just the base. That's just the base. Because even with body game, a woman can look at you and like your body and say, oh, it looks good. Oh, that's eye candy. But she's not turned on sexually. She is not turned on sexually. On my Rom TV, I have a series, Sexual Personalities of Women. And I also have something on my On Demand, the 5 Sexual Personality Types of Women. Understand something. A woman can look at you, but you still don't have those things that trigger her potential sexual needs. See, understand something. See, a lot of dudes think it's just some objective thing. No. Every single woman has a different preference. She has a different trigger, and it can vary. It's not no one thing. That's why I always say, find the women who like you. Find the women who are turned on by what you're presenting. And even if you're presenting what people consensually say are good looks, she'll look at you, she'll say you're handsome. But here's a reality. If you're talking about being turned on sexually, there are a lot of intangibles. Now, let me be straight. You still want to fix yourself up as best as possible. You still want to work on your look as best as possible, because that gets them over there. But what do I always say? A woman will say a guy looked good until he opened his mouth. See, that's a big part of it, the communication. Because understand something, women have defenses up. Even women who are very loose, like true 304s, there's still going to be some guys they say no to. But that's because those guys didn't have the trigger. See, sex appeal is more intangible. It's more, well, it has intangibles. Yes, there is a physical element, of course. But to take it to the next step, thing, you have to have certain things. And that's, like I say, it's particular to a woman. Because you can't just say, well, I'm going to get this and women going to want me. No, not necessarily, because you don't know what it is about you. Now, I mentioned that series I have on Rom TV, Sexual Personality Types of Women, and I'll put a link in the description box. But different women can like different things. Like one woman, she might want that guy who just has that, just that great conversation that she can click with, she can laugh with. The other one, she might want that guy who's going to be choking her. Seriously, that's how it is. It's going to come down to his personality. Now, if I were to speak in general terms, remember, I haven't talked about this in a while, but PCM, physique, charisma, masculinity. See, that's still a major part. The body, the physicality is still major. And depending on the woman, yeah, of course, face is dependent on the woman. Because the reason why I say that, because a lot of guys will say just face, but they speculating. They speculating, because some women, they don't, well, many women, they good with a guy, he got a little ugly in him. And shoot, even if he has an average body, but it might be how he behaves, he might just be real bold, and that turns them on. Or he could be real funny, that turns them on. But if we talk in general terms, okay, the physicality, boom. But that means she'll look at you. But then if you don't have the next two, she'd be like, whatever. Like, okay, charisma. Charisma is really just connecting. Does she feel good around you? Can she talk to you? Because remember, women are very emotional as well. So that's making a big difference right there. Because like I said, women will see a guy, think he looked good. She talked to him and he was all right until he opened his mouth. They just don't connect. They go on a date, he wants to talk about politics and everything. Or here's an obvious example. Say she go on a date with him. Find out he totally right wing. I mean, hardcore. Shoot, she totally left wing. He might look good to her physically, but she's going to be like, she's turned off. Instant dryness, women call it. I mean, and that's just an example. But they're not connecting, because the charisma we're talking about is just connecting with a woman. That can turn them on, just that connection. She feel good. She starts relaxing. Because, and I'll get it at the end, one basic thing is a general thing with women. I'll get into what has to be done to really turn them on sexually. And I've talked about it before. But let's go on to this next one, masculinity. Just being masculine. Just being assertive, aggressive, not in a violent way, but just willing to take charge, willing to take the initiative. Like I remember I did a video a few weeks ago and I said men still have to take the initiative. I got pushback from guys, like, you're scared and all of that. Look, whether you believe in cold approach or choosing signals, either way you approach it. Because when women give signals, they want you to take over. They want you to say something. No matter what they do, they still want you to make a move. Women get turned off, most women get turned off by a guy who doesn't make that move. I told the story several times, and this is as a lesson. I went over to this young lady's house. This was when I was still in my 20s. Went over her place, and she dancing around, looking all sexy. I'm sitting there chilling. And after a while, she came over, she sat on my lap, gave me a peck on the lips, right? And I know for some guys that'd be the bomb, but she gave me a peck on the lips and said, most we can be as friends. Now, she was from the Bahamas. I had a buddy from the Bahamas. He said, nah, they like those aggressive men. I was trying to be Joe Cool. And I say it's a lesson. And let me say something about that real quick. Any man who say he dealt with a whole bunch of women and then had some mess ups or something is capping. Okay? Any man say, oh, he get every woman, he capping. I don't care. Every woman ain't gonna like you. Even if, no matter how much you even like her, right? But I wasn't aggressive. She was ready to go. All I had to do was just go in, like grab and boom. But she was just like, you know? So, you know, some guys, they not aggressive enough. They not making the move. In fact, nowadays, you got women complaining. They say the guys aren't approaching. Now, some guys say, well, you'll mess them up or all that. But what if they're giving choosing signals for those who believe in that? What if they are giving choosing signals and you still sitting there not picking up on the signals? And let me talk even more about an aspect of masculinity, just being masculine. Because some guys think, oh, it's just looks, it's just looks. You got to have this jawline or something. What if the dude's effeminate? A lot of women ain't going to deal with that. There might be one here or there. But because you got some women now, let's just be real. They looking at men questioning their orientation. And sometimes a woman see a guy, he look too good, they think he might not be playing on their team. He would have to show otherwise. And see, a lot of guys, they don't have that basically, they ain't coming off as masculine to the woman, turned off. See, understand something, at the deepest level, what makes a woman sexy is her receptiveness. Because understand this, and this for some guys who actually deal with women. How many of y'all seen that real fine woman, but she was like real defensive and everything? You know, even hard. Yeah. Your joint might be like, So a woman, shoot, just like if they receptive, women can turned on by like aggressiveness in a man. And of course, there's going to be degrees to it and everything, but that's just a basic. A man who's going to like take charge. You know, he's going to make that move or has the ability to make that move. Like women are looking at that. See, those are intangibles. And then every single woman going to have some preference, you know, as far as her personality. It's like who clicks with it, who can trigger her the right way. And it could be some weird thing. It could be you ain't even thinking about it. She might just get triggered by fingernails or something. She might just, you know, some guys think it's just like, oh, it's the face, oh, the whole face, jawline. She just triggered by the dude's lips. Literally just his lips. Or she might like his eyes, how they look at her. It could be anything. But it's still different factors. It's still different factors, physical and mental. That's very important. Like I had a friend of mine. There was a guy she knew was interested in her, but she just said, nah, he's too yin. She's one of those bohemian type of women. And she said, nah, he's just too yin, which means his energy was too passive. So that's very important. Understand that. And it is what it is. Like a lot of guys, yes, you still want to work on your physicality. You still need that bait. But then you still need to work on your basic manhood. Now, let me stop for a second. Because I always get somebody, well, what can I do? Which video? Well, first of all, if you are an adult male and you have to ask which video, you think some 10-minute video is going to help you. No. And let's be real. If you look at my whole program, I'm telling you how to bring out that masculine nature. That's my whole program, because it's all about self-development. All you have to do is like just go through my videos and then apply it. It ain't some magic. I wish it was. I really do. It is something gained through just living life. You got to go for what you want. And, you know, and don't think, oh, just that one statement. No, you have to go out here and want something. Like you should be, if you're interested in just being masculine, you need to be watching my Sovereign Saturday series. Every Saturday. That's all I'm talking about. Because controlling your life, being sovereign, that's masculine. So I want y'all to think about that. And it just is. Understand that. Women looking at so much. When they're looking at a man, yes, they're looking at him physically, but they also judging his personality. And they want to know how he makes her feel. And that's more of an intangible thing. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for right now. Y'all get out there, get to work. Peace and blessings.